Welcome back, everyone, because today we're talking about a coin that most people would never think twice about at first glance. The 2015 Kisatchie National Forest United States quarter from Louisiana is one of those coins that can easily hide in plain sight. First up, it often looks dull, dirty, worn down from years in circulation, and sometimes even damaged around the edges. But surprisingly, collectors across the country still search for this quarter because certain versions of it can carry real value. Some examples have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition, mint errors, and rarity. That's why this little piece of pocket change has slowly become a fascinating coin for collectors and treasure hunters alike. The Kisatchie National Forest quarter was released in 2015 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program created by the United States Mint. This series honored national parks and historic sites from all across America, and Louisiana's Kisatchie National Forest was chosen because of its natural beauty and importance to the state's history. The design on the back of the coin shows a wild turkey flying over blue stem grass, with longleaf pine trees standing in the background. It's a peaceful scene that captures the spirit of Louisiana wilderness, but many people never stop long enough to notice the details because the coin blends in with ordinary change. Millions of these quarters entered circulation, meaning they passed through stores, gas stations, vending machines, and pockets all over America. Over time, many became scratched, stained, or discolored, which actually makes the better surviving examples even more desirable today. One reason this quarter has gained attention is because collectors discovered that certain versions can sell for surprising amounts of money. While many are still worth only face value, some examples in excellent condition or with special errors have reached impressive prices at auctions and online sales. A sharply struck uncirculated example with strong details and original mint luster can sometimes reach around $850. Coins graded at higher mint state levels have been known to move closer to $1,300. Some rare pieces with unusual minting mistakes, especially double details or striking issues, have reportedly attracted prices around $2,100. There are even stories of exceptional examples climbing toward $3,400, and a few collectors believe the finest known specimens could someday push beyond $4,700 or more. That's what keeps people searching through old jars of coins and checking every quarter they receive in change. If you happen to find one of these quarters, the first thing you should do is carefully check the visible details. Look at the date on the front and confirm it says 2015. Then look underneath the date for the mint mark. You may see a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. Some collectors pay closer attention to certain mint marks because lower surviving populations in top condition can increase value. Turn the coin over and examine the design closely. Pay attention to the turkey, the trees, and the grass. If the details still appear sharp and clear even after years of circulation, that can be a good sign. Also look around the edges and lettering for anything unusual like doubling, missing details, strange lines, or uneven striking. Tiny differences that seem unimportant to most people can actually make collectors very interested. One of the most important things to remember is that ugly coins can still be valuable. A lot of beginners assume that a scratched or dirty coin automatically has no worth beyond 25 cents, but that is not always true in the coin world. Sometimes a worn coin still contains a rare minting error that collectors want badly. Other times the coin may have been part of a low-quality strike that later became recognized as collectible. Even coins with faded surfaces or dark toning can attract attention if the error or rarity is strong enough. That's why experienced collectors never ignore a coin simply because it looks rough. The 2015 Kisatchie quarter is a perfect example of how ordinary-looking change can still carry real value hidden beneath years of wear and circulation. Another reason people are paying attention to this quarter is because interest in modern collectible coins has exploded in recent years. Social media, online auctions, and coin collecting videos have inspired thousands of new collectors to search through pocket change hopping to uncover hidden treasures. The Kisatchie National Forest quarter became especially interesting because it combines modern design, American history, and the possibility of rare mint variations all in one coin. Some collectors focus only on perfect high-grade examples, while others search for unusual strike errors or dramatic die varieties. Because millions of people handled these quarters carelessly, truly clean and well-preserved examples are harder to find than many realize. That scarcity in top condition helps explain why certain pieces can command prices like $850, $1,300, or even over $2,100 when collectors compete for them. Now, if you think you may have found a valuable example, there is one mistake you absolutely want to avoid. Never clean the coin. Even if the surface looks dark, dirty, or stained, cleaning can seriously damage the finish and reduce collector value almost instantly. Many people ruin potentially valuable coins by rubbing them with cloths, using chemicals, or trying to polish away the wear. Professional collectors and grading companies usually prefer coins in their untouched original condition, even if they appear old or ugly. A naturally worn coin is almost always better than one with artificial shine caused by cleaning. If your quarter looks interesting, place it carefully in a small holder or soft container and leave it exactly as you found it. That simple decision could protect its future value. At the end of the day, the 2015 Kisatchie National Forest quarter proves that treasure can still hide in everyday pocket change. A coin that most people overlook because it appears worn, scratched, or ordinary might actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. Whether it sells for $850, $1,300, $2,100, $3,400, or possibly over $4,700 someday, the excitement comes from knowing that real value can exist in the coins people ignore every single day. So before you spend your next quarter at a store or leave it forgotten in a jar, take a closer look. You never know when one small piece of American history could turn out to be something far more valuable than anyone expected. Next coin, the 2016 Harpers Ferry National Historical Park quarter from West Virginia, is the kind of coin most people ignore without a second thought because of how rough it usually looks after years in circulation. Many examples appear faded, scratched, dull around the surface, and heavily worn along the edges from constant handling. Some have dark discoloration, tiny dents, or flattened details that make them seem completely ordinary. To the average person, it looks like damaged pocket change with no real importance. That first impression is exactly why so many potentially valuable coins continue passing unnoticed through cash registers and coin jars every day. What makes this quarter interesting is that collectors often see something very different when they examine it carefully. Underneath that worn appearance can still be strong collector value, and in some cases, surprisingly high prices depending on condition and rarity. One reason this coin gets overlooked so often is because it belongs to the Modern America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series that many people assume was produced in unlimited quantities with little collectible potential. The Harpers Ferry quarter entered circulation in 2016 to honor Harpers Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia, a place deeply connected to American history. The reverse design features John Brown's fort, one of the most recognized landmarks tied to the events leading up to the Civil War. Because millions of these quarters were released into circulation, they quickly blended into ordinary everyday change. Most people spent them without paying attention, and over time the coins picked up scratches, worn surfaces, and circulation damage that made them appear even less special. Yet collectors understand that even widely circulated coins can become valuable when certain features, strong strikes, or preserved examples are involved. The collector demand behind this quarter comes from a combination of historical interest, condition rarity, and the growing popularity of modern coin hunting. Over the past several years, more collectors have started examining recent U.S. quarters because rare varieties and high-grade examples have proven surprisingly valuable. The Harpers Ferry quarter gained attention because its detailed reverse design can be difficult to strike perfectly, especially around the brickwork and structural details of the fort. Coins with unusually sharp details and clean surfaces are much harder to find than many people realize. A strong uncirculated example with attractive original luster may sell around $920, while better preserved graded examples have reached values closer to $1,650. Rare error coins or exceptionally sharp strikes have attracted prices around $2,750, and some top condition pieces have reportedly approached $3,850. A few collectors even believe that the finest known examples could someday exceed $4,900 or more under the right market conditions. If you want to identify this coin properly, the first thing to check is the date on the front of the quarter, which should read 2016. Just below the date you'll find the mint mark, usually either P for Philadelphia or D for Denver. After that, flip the coin over and study the reverse design carefully. You should see John Brown's fort standing prominently in the center with detailed brick lines and visible architectural features. Around the outer edge are the words Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, e pluribus unum, and the year 2016. Collectors often pay attention to the clarity of these details because sharper lettering and cleaner design elements can increase value significantly. Even a coin with visible wear can still attract attention if important details remain strong or if unusual mint characteristics are present. What surprises many beginners is that circulated examples still carry real value in today's collector market. A lot of people assume only flawless coins matter, but that is not entirely true. While perfect mint state examples command the highest prices, circulated coins with strong detail, appealing surfaces, or rare errors can still sell for impressive amounts. This is especially true when a coin has unusual striking characteristics or a lower surviving population in higher grades. The Harpers Ferry quarter demonstrates how condition matters greatly, but it also proves that a worn coin should never be dismissed automatically. Some collectors specifically search through circulated change hopping to uncover overlooked pieces because valuable modern coins often remain hidden in everyday use for years before someone notices them. Another factor increasing interest in this quarter is the strong connection between American history and coin collecting. Harpers Ferry itself is one of the most historically significant locations in the United States because of its role in abolitionist history and the events that contributed to tensions before the Civil War. Coins connected to meaningful historical sites tend to attract both casual collectors and serious numismatists. The design on this quarter gives collectors something visually recognizable while also representing an important part of American heritage. That combination of history and accessibility keeps demand active, especially among people building Complete America the Beautiful quarter collections. As more collectors compete for higher-grade examples, prices continue gaining attention across online auctions and collector communities. If you ever find one of these quarters and think it might be valuable, there's one thing you should never do. Do not clean the coin. Even though many examples appear dirty or darkened from circulation, cleaning can permanently damage the surface and reduce collector interest immediately. Polishing, rubbing, or using chemicals often leaves fine scratches and unnatural shine that grading companies can detect very easily. In the coin world, original untouched surfaces are usually preferred, even if the coin appears old or worn. A naturally circulated quarter with authentic aging is far more desirable than a cleaned example that has lost its original character. The safest choice is always to store the coin carefully exactly as you found it. The 2016 Harpers Ferry National Historical Park quarter continues proving that modern coins can carry strong value even when they look ordinary at first glance. A worn and scratched quarter hiding in loose change may still attract serious collector interest depending on its condition, strike quality, or rarity. Whether it reaches $920, $1,650, $2,750, $3,850, or potentially over $4,900 in exceptional cases, this coin reminds people that valuable discoveries are still possible in everyday circulation. The next time you come across an old quarter with faded surfaces and years of wear, it may be worth taking a closer look before spending it without a second thought. Second coin: a dusty glass jar sitting in the back corner of an old kitchen cabinet usually doesn't seem important until someone finally opens it years later. Inside are faded pennies, scratched nickels, darkened dimes, and a handful of old state quarters covered with fingerprints and wear from another time. Most people would pour them onto a table without thinking twice, separating the cleaner coins from the ugly ones before spending them at a grocery store or dropping them into a vending machine. But sometimes, mixed into that forgotten pile of ordinary change, there's a coin carrying far more meaning and value than anyone realizes. The 2003 Alabama Statehood $quarter featuring Helen Keller is one of those coins. At first glance, it often looks dull, discolored, and worn from years of circulation. But hidden beneath that rough appearance is a coin that collectors continue searching for because of its historical importance, emotional symbolism, and surprising value. What makes this quarter unforgettable is the story connected to the woman featured on the reverse side. Helen Keller was one of the most inspiring figures in American history, overcoming blindness and deafness to become an author, speaker, and symbol of determination known around the world. When Alabama released this quarter in 2003, as part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, it became the first U.S. circulating coin to feature Braille. That detail alone gave the coin a unique place in modern American coinage. The reverse design shows Helen Keller seated with a book in her lap, accompanied by her name written in both English and Braille. Around her are longleaf pine branches, magnolias, and a banner reading "Spirit of Courage." Even people who collect coins for years sometimes stop and stare when they notice the Braille for the first time, because it transforms the coin from ordinary pocket change into something deeply personal and historical. The emotional connection attached to this quarter is part of the reason collectors value it so highly today. Many people remember seeing these state quarters during the early 2000s when they first entered circulation, but very few paid attention to the details. Kids dropped them into piggy banks, parents carried them in purses, and grandparents stored them away in jars and drawers hoping they might someday be worth something. Years later, those same coins are being rediscovered in inherited collections and forgotten containers tucked away in closets or attics. What once looked like common spare change suddenly feels connected to family memories and another chapter of American history. That emotional reaction often surprises people because they never expected an old quarter with scratches and discoloration to carry such hidden significance. Collectors especially pay attention to this coin because certain examples can reach impressive prices depending on condition and rarity. A strong uncirculated example with clear surfaces and sharp details can sometimes sell for around $780. Better preserved coins certified in higher mint grades have reached prices closer to $1,250. Some exceptional examples with rare minting characteristics or unusually clean surfaces have reportedly climbed toward $2,050. Top-tier specimens with nearly flawless details have sold for around $3,300, and a few collectors believe the finest known examples could eventually exceed $4,600 or more in the right market. Those numbers shock people because the coin still appears so ordinary to the average person. That contrast between appearance and actual value is exactly why this quarter continues attracting attention from collectors and treasure hunters. If you want to identify the coin correctly, start by checking the date on the front, which should read 2003 beneath George Washington's portrait. Then flip the coin over and look carefully at the reverse design. You'll immediately notice Helen Keller seated in a chair holding a book. Near her name, you should see the raised Braille dots spelling out Helen Keller, something no previous U.S. circulating coin had ever included before. Around the design are natural Alabama symbols like magnolia blossoms and longleaf pine branches. Near the bottom, you'll see the words Alabama 1819 and the state nickname Spirit of Courage. Some collectors also pay attention to the mint mark on the front, either P for Philadelphia or D for Denver, because certain higher-grade examples from each mint can carry stronger collector demand. One thing experienced collectors understand is that appearance can be extremely misleading. Many valuable coins do not look beautiful at all. In fact, some of the most important discoveries happen because someone takes a second look at a coin others would immediately ignore. The Alabama quarter often develops dark tunning, faded surfaces, and edge wear after years in circulation, making it appear old and unattractive. But even circulated examples can still hold hidden value, especially if important design details remain visible or if the coin has an unusual strike or mint error. That is why collectors never judge a coin only by how shiny it looks. Sometimes the ugliest coin in the jar ends up being the one people regret spending years later. As interest in coin collecting continues growing online, more people are starting to search through inherited collections and pocket change hopping to uncover hidden treasures. Modern state quarters have become especially popular because they combine American history with the excitement of everyday discoveries. The Alabama Helen Keller quarter stands out from the rest because it carries a deeper emotional message about perseverance and courage, while also introducing Braille into U.S. coinage history. That combination keeps collector demand strong, particularly for high-grade examples that survived circulation with sharp details still intact. Every year, fewer untouched examples remain available because so many entered circulation and became heavily worn through daily use. That scarcity in better condition is one reason values continue attracting attention. If you ever find one of these quarters in an old jar, inherited collection, or forgotten drawer, there's one thing you should never do: do not clean it. Even if the surface looks dirty or discolored, cleaning can permanently damage the coin and reduce collector value immediately. Many people accidentally ruin valuable coins by polishing them or trying to make them shine again. Collectors and grading companies prefer coins with original untouched surfaces, even when they look worn or aged naturally over time. The safest choice is to leave the coin exactly as you found it and store it carefully. Sometimes the coins that look the least impressive turn out to hold the greatest hidden value, and the 2003 Alabama Statehood quarter featuring Helen Keller is a perfect reminder of that truth.